The Red Shoes is a psychological drama directed by Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger. It's their podcast debut, and we're going to cover it this week on the Golden Hour Film Podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Golden Hour Film Podcast. I am Shane Mulvaney and I'm here with my co-host, not guest host, Harry Bailey. How are you, Harry?
Fantastic. It is the podcast debut of The Archers.
Absolutely. Yeah, the long-awaited podcast debut. We've been threatening to kind of cover one of their movies for a while now. I think,
Yes.
Sadly, I've only seen Black Narcissus before. I think you've maybe only seen Peeping Tom, am I right?
I've only seen Peeping Tom, but that's just Michael Powell. That's
Yeah.
Pressburger didn't direct that with him. This is my first actual Powell and Pressburger film.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, obviously, titans of this era of cinema, titans of British cinema.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is the British entrant, the United Kingdom entrant in the Classic World Cup for this year. It did win its group. Like I said, we're kind of covering a titan of this era of cinema. It's obviously about kind of ballet and it's really about art. You can kind of transplant any kind of art onto the actual story itself. The pursuit of
Or
greatness.
even just, I was going to say, literally that, the pursuit of greatness. I was going to rob a line from T. Shams and say the pursuit of greatness. But you could, any career, you could absolutely just transplant into this.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's why it's probably so timeless that it's dealing with those themes. So we might as well get into some spoiler-free thoughts. So what are your spoiler-free thoughts on The Red Shoes?
This is brilliant. We've a load of podcast debuts with this, so I just want to make sure I get them all. Obviously, Michael Powell's podcast debut, Emeric Pressburger's podcast debut. Yep. We've got Anton Walbrook's podcast debut as Boris Lermontov. Unbelievable performance in this. We've got Moira Shearer. She is unbelievable in this, in her podcast debut. We have Marius Goring, who's also really, really good in this too. It is amazing. I don't think this is a massive spoiler because I'm sure we are all expecting some ballet in this film.
Yeah.
But the Red Shoes ballet sequence, I actually made a point after watching this film of looking through all the films we've covered on the podcast. It is top 10 sequences we've ever covered on the podcast for me. Like actual, just individual sequences, it is top 10 all time that we've covered on this podcast for me. It is so impressive. They used over 50 ballet dancers to do it. It's dreamlike. It covers so many important plot points to the film through its messages. This film is brilliant. If you like the film Whiplash, I would absolutely recommend this film. It's definitely less on the nose. I love Whiplash, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is definitely less on the nose than Whiplash. This Boris, the head of this ballet corps, is far more I would say far more not tactical, but he's definitely more subdued in his approach of trying to get into people's heads to make them do what he wants. It is a gorgeous looking film. There's so many shots in this just look like they could be a painting. Speaking of paintings, it took an astronomical amount of time for them to make the opening to this film with all the different paintings with the red shoes at the bottom. I think they used like over 100 paintings for that. So fair play to you lads. It is directed amazingly. The music in this is incredible. Instant potential winner of Best Score Soundtrack of the Year for me. And it is, of course, an adaptation kind of The Red Shoes by Hans Christian Andersen. Yeah. That insanely fucked up Scandinavian guy who just loved to write crazy kid stories about people, just like the most insane things happening to people. I actually don't know much about Hans Christian Andersen, but I know a lot of his stories, and I know a lot of them are quite fucked up for, you know, kid stories. Yeah. But overall, fantastic film. Couldn't recommend it enough. It's one of Scorsese's favorites. So if you take his word for it, then go for it. I would agree with Scorsese on this one. I agree with Scorsese on most of his film takes, actually. He's definitely more clued in than... I feel like I bash Tarantino every month. But, you know, Scorsese's definitely more objectively correct when it comes to like the films that he appreciates. And he rarely disses films, which I appreciate as well.
Yeah.
There's no point in Martin Scorsese saying that a movie sucks because
what's the
like
to be
whatever,
gained?
like what's the point in that? Instead, he just recommends the ones that he does like, which is what I appreciate.
And also Scorsese, obviously his longtime editor Thelma Schoonmaker, she was married to Michael Powell for obviously a long time for his death, obviously. So you have that kind of connection as well. And yeah, it's not like obviously imagine that level of brilliance that was in that household. Michael Powell and Thelma Schoonmaker, like two of
Do they have kids? What are their kids up to?
Yeah,
like that is
that's crazy. Like imagine your mom being one of the great editors of all time, and when your father being one of the great directors of all time.
Your dad made Peeping Tom, which is just so class.
Black Narcissus. Oh, that's a brilliant movie. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. The ballet sequence is just absolutely spectacular. It's so well conceived. It feels like you're literally in the audience watching this balletic, for want of a better name, balletic kind of sequence, obviously. And yeah, it kind of captures that feeling of it's just so graceful while you're watching. Like it's like there's no way I could ever be that graceful in anything I do. It's just so brilliant. And then the psychological aspects towards the end, as she kind of starts to kind of become overwhelmed by we'll come on to all that. I don't want to jump the gun here, but obviously it's there's definitely psychological thriller elements, psychological drama elements more so maybe towards the end of the movie that we'll come on to that are so effective as well. So we're going to get into it. The Red Shoes, Harry, what's it all about?
Yeah, so The Red Shoes is about, I would say there's kind of three central characters to this film that are particularly important. Obviously, I've already mentioned the first one, Boris, who has this big ballet that comes into town, and there's a few people in the audience, and two of them are rather important to this film. So, first and foremost, we have a lot of students come in because their professor, Professor Palmer, I think it is doing the music for this. He like picked the music sheet for this particular ballet. And when they get there, Julian Craster, played by Marius Goring, he, hypes up his teacher to all the people in the crowd, and then discovers that his teacher actually robbed all of his music from class and used it in the ballet. So he storms out. He's fuming. Also in the audience is Moira Shearer's character, Victoria Page, with her mother, and she is totally enamored by what's happening on the stage. She is just bet into the performances. Worth noting, Moira Shearer, amongst all the other people, most of the other people in this film, all legitimate ballet dancers, all have actual ballet backgrounds. You've got Robert Helpman, who is a choreographer. He plays a guy called Ivan. You got Leonid Messine. He's a fun character in this called Grishka. He's also an actual ballet dancer. Albert Basserman, who has been on the podcast before. He was in Foreign Correspondent, of course. He is his character Sergei he's kind of like the wise old man on set. And then you've got Ludmila Charina, who's also a ballerina. She plays Irina. And I know I've just rattled off a lot of names, but basically all of those names I've just given you, they are the core members of the ballet corps. So yeah, this ballet show from Boris Lermontov goes down an absolute success, and it's inspired a lot of people, particularly Victoria, who at the after party is going to dance. Her mom is obviously quite high up in society and has pulled a few strings to get her to dance at the after party, but Boris, shuts that shit down. He's like, no, I'm above that. If I'm going to a party, I'm going to relax. I'm not going to work. I'm not doing auditions at an after party. What he doesn't realize is the person he is ranting this to is Victoria herself. And she gets a little offended, but then understands, this is not a guy who likes parties. So he certainly doesn't want to be feeling like he's working at these parties. But he does end up striking up a conversation with her. And the next time we see her, she has auditions for his ballet corps. In the meantime, Julian Craster has built up the courage to write a letter to Boris to say, my teacher robbed all my music. But he comes to Boris's residence and basically begs him not to read the letter that he sent him. He's very embarrassed by the whole thing. Turns out Boris has already read it, and he tells him to play a song of his own, and when he does, Boris hires him. So these two people, I will just say off the bat, this does eventually blossom into a romance, but it's so organic. They just gradually interact with each other, but for now, Julian and Victoria, they may as well just be co-workers who, passing glance at each other. And yeah, they have their first show in London, and Craster gets to conduct the orchestra. He does get a bit of grief for calling them all in early, because then they all get paid an extra hour's work. But things don't necessarily take off as fast for Victoria. That is until she gets loaned out to a smaller theatre, the Mercury Theatre. And just out of interest, Boris goes to watch, and he is absolutely mesmerised by her. So much so that when they move on to Paris, it's only herself and Irina of the female lead dancers that actually get to come to Paris. And then when they get to Paris, Irina announces that she's married. And Boris doesn't take this very well. And as a result, Victoria becomes the de facto main ballerina in the corps. And now it's a matter of he is trying to mold her into this perfect star. And, I'm just going to collectively call them the lads. The sort of the two main dancers and Sergei, they are allegedly not as keen on her, although I find that hard to believe. They're not as keen on her talent, and she has to prove herself to them, whereas Boris is making it out as if he's the one who sees something in her. Meanwhile, Craster is shooting right up there. He's already composing his own songs to a point where when they go to pick their new ballet, they're doing a ballet called the Ballet of the Red Shoes.
Yeah.
And very important to note that the Ballet of the Red Shoes is about a dancer who puts on a pair of red shoes and she dances until she dies. A lot of metaphors in there, and Julian is tasked with coming up with a score for that ballet.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like I said, it takes its time because it's not instantly they're both catapulted to the kind of higher status of the company. She's initially taken on as a backing dancer. It's only when Irina is fired for getting the horrible crime of getting married, because Boris thinks that this proves that she's not she's not fully committed to the bit, dedicated to being as great as she can be. So obviously that's how Vicky gets that promotion. Initially Craster's taken on to kind of punch up some kind of numbers, and then so he's initially taken on to kind of for the opening number, and then when Boris hears, he's like, right, great, yeah, now do the rest of the movie, or do the rest of the performance. So you can tell that the more they get given and the more they impress, the more Boris does appreciate hard work and diligence and kind of dedication. So that's what he's all about. And then, like I said, they slowly obviously get to know each other. But then we finally get to the Red Shoes, and after some difficulties in the practice where
Bedlam. Absolute chaos.
Where Craster is kind of they do kind of raise their voices quite a lot. They start shouting and screaming and stuff, and Craster's not happy at times they do clash, but eventually they come to the night of the main show, the opening. And
It's a
yeah,
real interesting tactic that Boris applies. Uh, Obviously, to try and at this point, he's trying to kind of actually get them not together, but in sync with each other. So anytime she's having breakfast, lunch, or dinner, he is to play the score to her, and she has to eat her breakfast, lunch, and dinner next to his piano.
yeah.
But this plan obviously backfires for Boris because they end up falling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, eventually we get to the opening night, and yeah, it's an extended ballet sequence. Very graceful, obviously athletically crazy to even think about. Like it's so
Yeah,
impressive.
I will say the stuff in the Mercury Theatre by Moira Shear is also really impressive. The ballet in that sequence is also really, really impressive too.
Yeah. Anyway, eventually after this performance, like it's an extended. We're talking probably 15 minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But anyway, yeah, it's just absolutely incredible, very graceful and stuff. There's people who can sum up this stuff more than me. Maybe Timothy Chalamet could for me. But Boris it goes down like a house, like a house on fire. I don't know if that's a thing, but anyway, Boris is so overwhelmed by the success of the show. He's like, "You can be one of the greatest ballerinas the world has ever seen. All you have to do is stick with me. The world is going to fall in love with you." And then that does seem to happen. There's a montage where they do start to travel around Europe. They sell out shows. She gets flowers thrown at her every night. Yeah, things are going pretty well for the Lermontov company and for Vicky and for Craster. Anyway, after some time, Boris learns that Vicky and Craster are in love, and pretty disturbing this information is to him, because he thinks again that this is going to be a distraction to her. He wants to be in total control of her career, what she does, when she does it. And so he confronts Craster and he tells him both of your work have suffered, and he fires Craster. And he gives him 2 weeks' pay, and yeah, effectively now Craster's obviously out of a job. He doesn't have the rights to the music he's written for the Red Shoes, so anything he writes now will have to be obviously new. New
He
music.
does call ballet a secondary form of expression as well. He goes into writing opera. So he's obviously he's not a ballet man. He's not a ballet man.
Definitely not. No. Yeah, that's obviously a big insult to Boris. But yeah, Sergei quits when he hears all this news. Boris doesn't really care, but then Vicky quits, and yeah, Boris doesn't even shake her hand when she goes to, when she effectively quits. He starts smashing things in his office, like a mirror, and he says, "Look, I'm not going to stand in her way. She can dance anything she wants except for the Red Shoes. I don't want her doing the Red Shoes, because that's obviously the signature piece. That's the piece now that she's known for around the world.
That's the one that made them all famous, yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, if she's not going to do that, then she can do anything but that, because if she's going to do that, it has to be with me."
He definitely has a softer spot for her than he does for Julian. Like, he's like, no, we have full creative control over absolutely everything that Julian has ever written, and we are never giving him anything.
Yeah.
He hates that guy.
And so he gets Irina back, who he had obviously fired some time ago. He gets her back to do the Red Shoes, and he's about to write a letter to Vicky, but then he learns that she's going to be in town, so he figures that he's going to try and finagle his way back into her good graces. So
they've gotten married at this point as well. It's worth noting.
Julian and Vicky.
Yeah.
And so he kind of by chance meets Vicky at this train station, and they are friendly, and seems to be on good terms. And he says, "Well, will Julian give up composing for you?" Because his whole thing is, you've given this thing up when you don't even necessarily need to. Like, there's no reason why you can't. It's actually quite progressive of him, in fairness. He's like, you could do this, and he could compose, and there's no reason why you should stop doing what you love. She's like, "Look, would Julian give up composing if you asked him to?" And obviously she thinks, and she's probably like, probably not, no. So reluctantly, or after some kind of finessing, she does agree then to come back and do the Red Shoes again. And Julian, meanwhile, he's just about to start a job in London, composing.
Yeah.
But
he's about to open his first opera at Covent Garden, by himself. Yeah.
By himself, and the opening night, then you can hear on the radio at the venue where they're about to do the Red Shoes, you can hear that Julian Crass has been taken by, he's fallen ill, And just as that happens, then he bursts in the door. This is obviously, I think, in Vienna, maybe, or Paris. It's somewhere else.
Monaco.
Monaco, there it is. So Monaco. So he bursts in, and obviously you realise that yeah, that
He
he
would be
wants to.
composing for her.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. And so they're effectively, you have Boris on one side, you have Julian on the other. Vicky's caught in the middle, and she's obviously stuck between a rock and a hard place, and she doesn't know what she should do or wants to do at this moment in time.
And just there's so many moments in this film that are just like tiny little details of genius. And one of the details of genius in this scene is that it's like a mid shot of Vicky, and we see the other two guys like standing up or whatever, and we just get a mid shot of Vicky, and then eventually, she breaks down. She's crying, love her career. She does not get up when Julian goes to the door, so he pieces together that she's going career over love. He storms out. He heads down past this balcony that they shared a moment with earlier on in the film. It's like a really great bit of foreshadowing where it was like after their first performance of the Red Shoes, the two of them have this moment on this balcony where this train passes, and they kind of look at each other like, oh, we've actually made it. Also, nice to finally properly be friends with you. Although obviously they become more than friends. Yeah, he storms out past that balcony, and then Boris is like, I've won, I've got her, she's mine, I can turn her into the greatest dancer in the world. And then we get this reveal where we see her full body, and she's wearing the red shoes.
Great.
The actual the prophecy has come true. She is gonna dance until she dies. She's picked career over love, and when she comes out of the dressing room with whoever it is, or makeup artist or whatever, she has a moment where the camera comes real close to her face. We get a close up, and you can just see her heart just basically fall out of her ass, and she's like, what have I done? And she looks down, she sees the red shoes on her feet. All great metaphorical stuff, done beautifully. She turns around and she runs straight out that sortie, out that exit, and heads straight for that balcony. Although she doesn't hang a left, she goes over the balcony, and as I said, foreshadowing, as she goes over the balcony, a train comes by, and she obviously doesn't fall under the train because she does kind of survive, but bear with me, because once she, is found, she's absolutely been ragdolled by this train. She's put on a stretcher. Julian has seen this happen. He comes over to her, and she asks him to take off her red shoes. And of course, as soon as he takes them off, she dies. And then we get this really great, brief moment on stage where Boris explains to the audience, and you can tell he's actually quite shaken up by it, even though this is kind of partially his fault. He explains to the audience that Victoria won't be able to dance tonight or ever again, but they're going to do the red shoes anyway, because it's her. She is the red shoes. And then we get this just haunting bit of the ballet where the two main lads, Grishka and Grishka and Ivan, are doing their opening to the ballet, and where normally she would come out this door, it's just a spotlight, and then they dance with the spotlight. Chills. Unbelievable ending. Just fantastic. It ends with like the closing of the curtain. Just amazing. Amazing ending. This movie absolutely blew me away. I have to say, the Red Shoes ballet sequence is some of the best stuff we've covered on the podcast. The visuals are off the charts. The metaphors, the ballet itself is so impressive. The effects are brilliant. There's like a bit where Ivan, I think it is, There's like a man shape. There's a lot of newspaper clippings, and they like lift up into the air and they become a person, and then it like hard cuts to Ivan, and then it hard cuts back to the newspaper. Stuff like that is so good. Yeah, the visuals off the charts in that sequence. Unbelievable ending, unbelievable performances from the three main leads, particularly Moira Shearer, and particularly Anton Walbrook. The two of them are sensational in this film. I gave it 4.5 stars. I think it's one of the best films we've covered this year so far. I'm definitely top 5, I'd say, that we've covered this year. Yeah, amazing movie. The Red Shoes is fantastic. I wholeheartedly recommend that you go out of your way to watch it. And if you've already seen it before, I absolutely wholeheartedly recommend that you go ahead and give it a rewatch. What an insanely impressive selection of podcast debuts all around. What about you, Shane?
Yeah, really love this. A psychological kind of obsessiveness definitely struck with me. Like it's obviously clear. Like I think the Fletcher comparison from Whiplash is a great one, where it's like probably have to cross a few lines, or at least the characters believe they have to cross a few lines to really truly achieve greatness in this field. And they obviously have this muse that they think can help them, first of all, achieve their own goals, but also they can really push and help them achieve their brilliance as well. Yeah, I think Anton Walbrook and Moira Shearer are both fantastic. Like I said, I think the ballet sequence is just absolutely splendid. It's absolutely amazing. 15 minutes. Timothy Chalamet probably bored out of his mind, but for the rest of us, really, really good. I think that, yeah, I think the ending just is such a good punch, because like it literally has foreshadowed that ending to you probably an hour earlier, if not more.
Yeah,
it's literally told you how it's going to end.
Realize it.
Yeah, and you don't even realize it exactly. Like so. So when it actually happens, it's literally like being hit with a train. It's like you are Vicky in that moment. Yeah, it's such a brilliant movie. And yeah, I think hopefully there's going to be more Powell and Pressburger in the future, because yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
And did you say what you gave it?
Oh, 4 stars. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, brilliant movie. So yeah, that's the Red Shoes. I think maybe we can squeeze in one round maybe of guess the movie.
Yeah, sweet, perfect. Right, I have mine here.
Perfect. Oh, sorry.
Now, go for it, Shane. So, for those who've never played before or listened before, Shane has 6 yes or no questions, and then a guess as to what film I just showed to the camera. If you're listening, you have no choice but to play along. If you're watching, I don't know, I just didn't really give you a heads up there, so you're either playing or you're not.
Is this a movie we've both seen?
It's not a movie that we've both seen.
Is this a movie only I've seen?
It's not a movie that only you've seen.
Have either of us seen this movie?
No.
Right, okay. Right. Is this movie from the 30s or 40s?
It is.
Is this movie from the 30s?
No.
So it's a 40s movie neither of us have seen.
Is it 6 at a guess or 7 at a guess?
7.
7 at a guess.
Yeah, so I think...
Right, 2 more questions.
2 questions left. Right, so it's a 40s movie that neither of us have seen. Is this a film noir?
No, it's not a film noir. No.
Is this a foreign language movie?
It is not. You are going to have to guess.
I have no idea. Let me just Google. This could literally be anything.
Yeah, you've really not got much to go off here at all. I'll find out as well. Worth noting that the score all time in Guess the Movie is 13-10 to Shane after his Yeah, I haven't gotten one right in a while. Let's just say that. And as well, Shane hasn't not gotten one in, I think, months. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's
you've a crazy streak at the minute.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I have a feeling it could be a Pressburger, Powell and Pressburger movie since we just covered this movie.
That would be bait.
That would be B. Let me see.
Or did I go bait?
Is this movie The Thief of Baghdad?
This movie is directed by two people. Emeric Powell. Nope. Fuck, I did it too. We probably edited it out, but Shane did that in the intro.
Yeah.
Emeric Pressburger and Michael Powell. It is a matter of life and death.
So I was knocking on the door. God damn. Yeah, okay, I have one here. Where did I go with the?
Okay, I'll look away. What should I make from there?
I think that's okay. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Is this a movie that I've seen?
Yes.
Is this a movie that you've seen?
Yes.
Is it a movie we've covered on the podcast?
No.
Okay. Is it a movie from the 50s or 60s?
No.
Is it a movie from the 20s or 30s?
No.
Okay. So that makes it a 40s film that we've both seen that we've not covered on the podcast. Obvious question, is it a film noir? I don't think it is.
Okay. No, I wouldn't describe it as noir.
Shane's hesitation to call this a film noir does make me think that it could be film noir adjacent.
Am I bluffing?
Or Shane is
playing a blinder,
trying to get me back. So you, I'm just literally just looking at films noir. What am I doing? I just ignored your answer. So
one question left, by the way.
Only one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, that flew by.
I know, that's crazy.
Is this directed by a director we've covered on the podcast?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, I wouldn't consider White Heat to be a noir. So I think it could be White Heat. I'm just going to say White Heat. I'm not even going to think about it. White Heat.
This movie is directed by a gentleman named Orson Welles.
Motherfucker.
It is The Stranger.
Stranger.
Would you say that's... I don't think that's a noir, would you?
I haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, but to be honest, I saw it fairly recently. I'm pretty confident saying that's not noir. That's more like
fair.
It's just a kind of thriller. It's basically just a thriller. Yeah,
I've not watched the movie in years, so I don't even really remember exact genres. We get another round in or just the one?
I think I have to shoot. No, we'll go for one more. We should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get one real quick here. Right, I've got one here.
No problem.
That is what I'm rocking with. Now, go for it.
Is this a film I've seen?
Yes, you have seen it.
Is this a film you've seen?
I have not seen this film.
Is this a film I've seen this year?
Oh, I would have to let you know. No. No.
Is this a film from the 40s or 50s?
It is.
Is this a film from the 50s?
It is.
Right. Is this a film by a director we've covered on the podcast?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that, and I need to check. It is not. No.
We've not covered on the podcast. Okay, right. That does narrow it down, definitely. 50s movie I've seen. Is this... No, it's not that then. I was thinking maybe All About Eve, but you've seen that.
I have.
Is this a movie...
One more question.
One more question. Damn.
Yeah.
Right. How do I narrow this down then? Is this a Western?
It is.
Right. Is this movie High Noon, directed by Fred Zinnemann?
This movie has a few podcast alumni, I should say, in its ranks. It's got Lon Chaney Jr. in there.
Right.
It's got Otto Kruger in there. It's got Grace Kelly in there.
Yes.
And it's got Gary Cooper, big handsome Gary Cooper. It is, in fact, High Noon.
Get in there. Right. Okay.
That makes it 14-10.
Let me just 1 second there. Okay. Yep. Okay. Go ahead.
Is this a film from the 50s or 60s?
No.
Is this a film that I've seen?
Yes.
Is it a film from the 20s or 30s?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a horror film?
No.
Okay. Non-horror film that I've seen from the 20s or 30s. Is it directed by a director we've covered on the podcast?
Yes.
Interesting. How many questions do I have left?
2.
Is it a Hitchcock film?
No.
Is it a 30s film?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I don't think Shane would pick a film that we've covered on the podcast. Is this Modern Times, directed by Charlie Chaplin?
This film is directed by a gentleman called Frank Capra. Lost Horizon.
Good film. Good film.
So
all right, fair enough.
That's Guess the Movie. By Harry's calculations, I'm 4 in the lead at this point.
14-10.
And obviously that was the Golden Hour Film Podcast episode for the Red Shoes. So next week we are going to be covering Zed.
We're off to Greece.
Yep. Pretty shock winner actually, but spoiler alert, pretty great winner. Zed by
Costa
Gavras. Correct, yeah.
Whose son directed possibly the best music video of the year this year, from Young Lean. Yeah, his son's directed like music videos for like Jay-Z and Kanye and Beyonce as well, but he directed, is it Roman Costa Gavras is his son?
Yeah.
But anyway, he did he directed Storm and Storm 2, which is like 1 7-minute music video of 2 different songs by Young Lean, and it's a fantastic music video.
He's directed feature films as well, I believe, actually. So Zed by Costa Gavras. It's a political thriller, and it's we'll get into next week, but it's worth checking out. So that was obviously the Red Shoes. I've been Shane Mahoney.
I've been Harry Bailey.
And tune in next week. See you, everyone.
Goodbye.